Hello, everybody. My name is Matt Bajkar, and I'm going to be doing a quick little overview, I guess, over the next set of videos I want to do on teaching music, I guess. Um, I'm sorry for the guerrilla filmmaking. I'm kind of starting from scratch with all my gear here, so until I can make better copies or versions of this stuff, I guess we're just going to have to deal with Cloverfield, the music lesson. Ah! Um, Quick little bit about myself. My name's Matthew Bajkar. I've been playing for as long as I can remember, so that is started at 329, so that's 27 years. And I've just music, different schools, different teachers, different mentors, different bands, just my entire life. And the one thing that's always frustrated me, especially with music education, is as teachers, we want to start the student playing the notes because that's the easiest thing to start with. Just do this, then 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 this, and then do it backwards. And then just learn how to speed it up. There you go, now you're impressive. But I find it's really hard to find a music teacher that's going to sit down with you and work your ears and your listening. And I find that's the lack of ear training these days. It is kind of one of the main thing that's holding a lot of starters and musicians back, because they'll learn all this theory, but because they can't really, they've never been told to really listen to it. It's kind of hard to know within yourself why this is nice and why this is nice and this is the same kind of nice. And how that works and all this other kind of stuff. And that's kind of what my method tackles. We're gonna go and look at the same fundamental stuff that goes on in all different theories, but we're going to try and perceive it a different way, where we're trying to actually, I would argue, we're actually trying to create an instrument in our head that we can play without playing. For myself, I went to an extreme I don't really think many people want to go to, but it takes a couple months to get, but you hear that, and I hear that. You don't hear that, but I do. And that's kind of one of my little secret tricks that I have, of where there's a lot of times in my life where I didn't have a piano around me, so I just put one in my head so I can always play. And of course, this is kind of one of the little extremes, it goes a little far, but that idea and that concept of you don't have to get every single note, you can only just get a few of them to start off with, and you're kind of already set in some great starting places that you can work with and manipulate around. And because all of this is so arbitrary and kind of, there's a lot of different things you can do, but you're actually only looking for one thing to do. So if the real game is know what you're actually trying to do, know what you're actually aiming for, and it'll be so much more easier with this thing to find it. And I think this is kind of where I'm going with all of this. So, my own little personal method, the way how I break down music for myself. I look at music from two different perspectives, and I've mastered kind of 4 different, I'll call them languages. And one perspective I use for when I'm given all the details, all the note names and everything like that, and I need to kind of turn that information into buttons. And that is one technique I call external listening. You're kind of taking everything that's in your head and then you're putting it onto some sort of piano and guesstimating where these distances are. And that's just kind of learning how to develop some ear training and just being okay with this being a perfect fifth and this being a perfect fifth, but they're not the same notes. And just things like that. So this is fixed, where you kind of want to box in everything you know and then see what kind of comes up. And in this kind of thinking, this will always be C, this will always be D, this will always be E, F, G, A, B, C. So if someone says E, G, F, that's what they mean. And that's a great way of communicating with people, and it's a great way of looking at music and understanding music. Or you can flip it and go the other way, of instead of externalizing and trying to get the information into notes, what if you don't know the information? What if you just have the sound? What if you have the notes and that's about it? Then external thinking is just not going to help you. So you have to actually go backwards, and instead of trying to piece everything together into one little nice shape and order, you kind of have to go like, let's just follow the bouncy ball here, and then... It's really easy to kind of focus on little tiny aspects, even when you're in kind of chord mode, but you want to focus on something in there. Notice how you kind of hear that just a little bit more than that. That's your brain right there already trying to pick out what you're trying to listen to and what you're trying to kind of hone in on. And it's that technique that we're going to kind of sit and work with. And I guess I'm just going to finish this off with a little example of what I mean by all these different languages and having a different effect on the music. And I guess what we're going to do is just bring it up to over here. And right here we have, actually we're going to do it this way. I'm going to start off externally. So most of the time you see in theory it's written out like this: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And another way of writing that out, as long as we're kind of in the same key, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that means those respond to the same notes. Or you can talk to do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and those would respond to the same notes. Or you can even just kind of gauge it out of, here's your start, here's your finish. Start close, start farther, farther, farther is the middle, and now you're going closer, closer, closer. So you can look at it in that way too, and that's still responding to the same notes. And that's external, where you're kind of looking out, boxing in, trying to get it in. Flip it around, and now we have, instead of our two roots for the C's over here at the side, we have them in the middle, and they sprawl out backwards. And you know what, I'm gonna add some stuff right here, because I can do anything. It's music, completely arbitrary within itself. -4. There you go, that works. Okay, so what we're gonna do is a little bit of Ode to Joy, starting from here, and we're just gonna keep switching languages, and then we're gonna move back to the perspective. Actually, let's go this way. So Ode to Joy in key of C, so we'd be starting on E, or 3, or Mi. Here we go. Ode to Joy. That one's a weird one. And then once in internal. So again, we start off at E. I always do this one, okay. Now, if you play it along in your head, you'll notice this feels different than this. Just in a little bit kind of different way. And this is a little bit of how I find if you can break down music into this relativeness, kind of switch back and forth, wherever you go, all you need to do is listen. The answers are just consistently right in front of you. It's more about developing the techniques of how to find them. And that's kind of just a general overview over what I do. And kind of what we're going to be looking at. What we're trying to do is take a thought or an idea or something like this, look into our heads and go, I wonder how that would sound. Go to our instruments and go, I guess it would sound like this. And then it goes up, up, and it keeps going down, back to the middle, and kind of leans a little. And learning these two different perspectives, messing around with all the languages, it helps get over that hump. And I guess that's the thing that I want to try and help you guys get over, is that mental hump of kind of getting it, I guess. I don't know how better to say it, because it's complicated in the way that's almost too simple, that it's really easy to run yourself around in circles. So we're going to try and do this as simple, straightforward, pragmatic, show examples as we can. And yeah, I guess next lesson, I'm going to try and show you a bit of your ears. So stay tuned. My name is Matt Batchker, and that's a lesson. All right.